Well, gentlemen, ladies, I need someone to make this all-in-one dashboard I have that someone coded for me. Look at the code, see if it can be made into an EA, 100% EA. So this candle direction, candle strength, dynamic trend, sweet spot, RSI, and the total signal is here. The high of the day and the low of the day and the weekly high of the day, weekly high and lower and weekly low, they're not included on the surface of this dashboard, but they built into the dashboard already. So I mean, most of the work is done for the dashboard already because it was coded by someone else. So these are the properties here: the candle direction, the RSI overbought and oversold, RSI value, dynamic trend, candle strength, sweet spot, high and low of the day, weekly high and low filter, the currency pairs, and this is just for to get alerts. So I'll use it for alerts now. So it's very hard to open positions when you have alerts flying here left and right. So all you need to do now is make it an EA. So typically, what the indicators they look like on the chart. Let me say this AUD USD. So this is the chart. You got everything on here. This is the candle direction. This is the dynamic trend, and this is the candle strength. Your body, the high and low of the day indicator, they're not here. I can put it in if it's gonna make any difference, but those will be used as part of the robot. It's very compulsory mandatory that those are included too. I mean, you have the option not to use the high and low of the day. So, but for this presentation, I'll just say like it is. So this is the high of the day. This was the low of the day. The weeklies high and low, they're not here. I don't think I typically use that. So that's how the EA is gonna work. It's just a simple EA to give buy and sell signals, but you just have to make it to be an EA. So like here, the only closest signal here is the New Zealand USD. So that would have been going short. Let's look at the New Zealand USD. I can click on to open it there, but I just come to the market watch because I don't want to lose that. This is the New Zealand USD. See what the dashboard said, this aligned, this aligned, this aligned. And the sweet spot was also aligned. So specifically, let me say how the sweet spot is going to work. So these levels are 20 pips apart. So if I'm going to use a sweet spot, when all these indicators, for instance, this is like we said before, New Zealand USD aligned, it means the sweet spot level was broken. For this time frame is only 15 minutes time frame. The sweet spot level was broken. So everything else aligned. So let me say if it was broken here. So the target is gonna be the next level, right here, 20. So we don't know how many pips it was before this line started to break, but the target is always gonna be the next level, which is here. These are these are 20 pips apart. I can change this to say I want to use 10 levels, so it can be 10 pips apart. So another thing that you have to convert this, I forgot to mention that this is a single time frame RSI right now that is built on it, but you got to change it to be multiple time frame RSI, either 3 or 4 time frames RSI instead of one time frame RSI. Let me show you why I want it to be multiple time frame RSI. You see, for instance, like we said before, these are 20 pips apart, the sweet spots. So I get a signal to go short here because this sweet spot level was broken. When it got here, the take profit was hit. Maybe 17 pips or 15 pips was the take profit. I don't know when this level started to break. So when it gets to the next level, it crosses the next level down. If all these conditions are still aligned when this level was broken, it's going to open another short position. But this is the law of the day. It was difficult to penetrate break the law of the day. Maybe it broke it a little bit, but it didn't get to that sweet spot level. So what happened is the 3 hour size, when it crossed up the 50 level from below, since it did not get to this level, the short position is going to be closed when it crosses level up. So when it crosses level up, if it's already above this level, it's going to go long. When Let me repeat that again. If another position was open here, the target is supposed to be this 20, this level here, which is like 20 pips. But before I get there, we not even be 20 pips. But this is supposed to be the target. 20 pips or less, it don't matter. But if it didn't get to that 20 pips, when the 3 hour size they cross up above 50, it's going to close that position that didn't get to the target here and go long. When it goes long, all you need to do now is to go for 10 pip take profit. I can say 10, I can say 5. I can use double lot size. So once that take profit is hit, this sequence is done. So now the E is going to wait for next time. This level is going to be broken, either up or down. So maybe it happened here the next day. But like you see, it ranged around. It never got here. It never got to the target here. So if it didn't get to the target here, the position is going to be closed and the long position is going to be opened here. So when the long position is open here, he's going to try to get that 10 pips. When he gets to the 10 pips, everything is done. He's going to wait for a next move. So that's why it's going to be imperative that these sweet spot levels are being used. I mean, the dashboard is going to have magic numbers because some pairs they're going to struggle to get to the 20 pips, while some pairs will easily get to the 20 pips. So I can know the slower pairs. I can use 10 pips. So let's change this to 20, 10 pips. All you got to do is come here and change this level to 100 as 10 pips. The other level don't really matter, but I'm using, you know, 20, I mean 10 as the main levels. So it's going to look like this. They are 10 pips apart now. So they can this pair can easily get to the 10 pips. So all the conditions, the 3 hour size, if the 3 hour size were down when this level was broken and all these conditions are aligned, it's going to go short here. The target is going to be 10 pips, which it didn't happen until right here. The 3 hour size never crossed up 50. If they had crossed up 50, this short position would have been closed and the long would have been opened. The long would have stayed open. It didn't, probably will not get down there until the stop loss is probably going to be hit. So if I use a stop loss, if the stop loss is not hit, the short position is still going to stay on until eventually going to hit the take profit. So that's how this E is going to work. We're just giving an example with New Zealand because it looks like from the dashboard, New Zealand is the only pair that everything aligned. So New Zealand yen numbers got there, but we know the level is broken now because you can see the sweet spot level is broken. That's why I sell here. But the rest of them did not align. Like I said, I can play with the values and see which one the EA we work with. I have to try it on demo. This is the New Zealand yen. These are 20 pips apart. We saw the level was broken here from the dashboard. So if it's going long and this level was broken, the target is going to try to get to these 20 pips. But it never got there from here. So if it didn't get there, when the RSI they cross back down, where did they cross back? They cross back down here. When they cross back down, that this position is closed for whatever profit or loss it got, and the short is going to be open here. The short position is only going to go for 10 pips. When it got to that 10 pips, the sequence is done. So the EA is going to wait for the next time. All the indicators are going to align. Maybe they are aligned here for short. It's going to go short here. The target is going to try and beat these 20 pips again before the three RSIs they cross up. So since this is a 15 minutes chat, I think maybe I'm going to use bigger time frames RSI like 15, 60, and maybe 240, three of them. So the EA can have room to move before it gets to this sweet spot level, which is the target. So remember, there are 20 pips apart. I can use any levels I want, 10 or 20. And the EA is going to have spread filter to filter the spread. I mean, it can look so close like this, but it's still the same thing. It's still the same 20 pips apart from here to here. It's 20 pips apart. So if everything aligned when this level was broken, the target is this next level here. When this level is broken, these are still aligned. It's going to open another position after the take profit was hit the first time it got here. So that position is going to go for hit the target here. I'm just this hindsight. It's not going to be that easy because I'm not going to be in front of the computer. But you can imagine how this move would have been coming down here, coming down here. So these are going to help propel that these levels are broken. Because when this is showing weakness, it's going to break this level. So three other indicators, they are not included here. They'll be used as dashboards. So these are the indicators. You have to look at the codes and find out which one is going to be better for you to use the code. You can get these dashboards in MQL4 form. These are single time frames, but you have to combine them. This you can combine too. So how these ones are going to work is if any three time frames here are going to align, when they align here, six or better, they're going to be aligned here to six or better. Like for instance, Euro, USD is six or better on three time frames back to back. It has to be six or better here. So when that happens, two of them are aligned here, and this sweet spot level is being broken. So that means it's good to go. Everything shows that this level will typically be broken. So you see, if you have to use I think these two will be better to use, but you can look at the codes. If you look at the codes, you find out this is easy. We can go with any two of them, but it's still got to be any two of them. So depending on which two of them you want to use, I'm going to map out how they're going to work. But definitely, the reason why I want to use like either this and this or this and this because there are multiple time frames. There are multiple time frames. That's why I wanted to use those two indicators. So that's how the EA is going to work. Once again, I just want this to be made into an EA. I'm going to have all the properties written up, and you just tell me what you can do if it's going to be possible. Thanks a lot. Thank you.